it's cold outside, it tingles in my heart. Breathing air that clears my mind, I'm all for a good start. I hear those jingle bells, people singing about love. It feels like I'm a kid, like I'm forever young. And that's why I wanna sing about the Christmas on its way. A reason to hang around and celebrate this day. Everyone's smiling and it's snowing, it's the time of year again. I'm happy you're here, my winter wonderland. I'm walking around making small talk with people that pass me by. I share a laugh, it gives me joy that everyone's having a good time. I hear those jingle bells, people singing about love. It feels like I'm a kid, like I'm forever young. And that's why I wanna sing about the Christmas on its way. A reason to hang around and celebrate this day. Everyone's smiling and it's snowing, it's the time of year again. I'm happy you're here, my winter wonderland. No, it's the time of year, winter wonderland. My winter wonderland. It's the time of year, my winter wonderland, my winter wonderland. I wanna sing about the Christmas on its way. A reason to hang around and celebrate this day. Everyone's smiling and it's snowing, it's the time of year again. I'm happy you're here, my winter wonderland. Oh, my winter wonderland. Oh, my winter wonderland.
Welcome back to the Morning Skate Show with the hockey coach guru, Coach Frenchy, for the Hockey Nation Live Show. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. It's already December. Of course, the time for the holidays. Hopefully going to be ready. What's going on with you, guy? What's going on with you, coach? You have a snow, ice, water behind you. And because today I want to celebrate the Finland celebration. I can wait for Yamo or maybe Vigneault from Finland to talk about this the next couple of minutes. But until then, it's going to be another great show today. We have a lot of news around the league, the Vancouver, the Montreal, the Flyers. It's the time of the year usually you give a present gift, but look like today in NHL it's time to fire people. So that's what's happening today. And we're going to talk about this first of all. Here we go. Here we go, Mr. Yamo and the house this morning. Absolutely right, Yamo. I do my search about Finland a lot, and today it's I believe it's 104 years possible. I don't know, Yamo. You can tell us the Independence Day, like today, how long it been, but I believe it's 104. I could be wrong, but I believe it is. But welcome, Mr. Eric Julien, directly from Montreal, in the house. Eric Julien, guys, is one guy I grew up with him. I play hockey with him, and I know at some point when we finished college, we split each other, and then we found out a couple of years ago, and always been a great friend for me. So welcome aboard, Eric. He's like, he told me, he said, lunchtime is better time for me to watching you, coach. So he said, glad you make now the lunchtime to make your own show, the morning skate with the Hockey Nation show. Mr. 951, he said, minus 14 Celsius here in Alberta this morning. I bet Mr. 951 have a big smile after the great weekend of the Minnesota Wild. And also during the last week, Minnesota Wild on the straight went out, big W Saturday night against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now the people in the league now realize the Minnesota Wild are legit, real, and maybe even the top best 3-4 team in NHL at that moment for sure. What about cold? What about hiking? What about biking? What about swimming? And what not about drinking? That's what we do in Utah. And why not welcome back number one fans of the Los Angeles Kings? Talk about smiling. I bet you have a big smile because Mr. Run with Kings 20. Here's the Los Angeles Kings won yesterday by a score of 5-1. Welcome aboard this morning. From Lil Perrault, not the deux Perrault, but Pierrot, but Lil Perrault. Welcome back, Mr. Richard Mullen in the house. Of course, we have Mr. Inortap, the collaborator of the Hockey Nation Live show, at the warm-up show every day, Monday to Friday at 5 o'clock p.m. We can't wait to hear his insight about what he's paid attention on the weekend, so I can wait to see Mr. Inortap at 5 o'clock. Mr. Holistic Nature back in the house this morning. Welcome back, Mr. Nature. We miss you this weekend. I know you show up a couple of times, but we're always a pleasure to open the door to you, my friend. From Boston, Massachusetts. Number one fan of Boston Bruins. Look like a couple injury. Like now, McEnroy is sick. You have a 5-player Nojek. Is also sick this morning. Did not show up at the practice. What I just heard. So welcome back, Mr. John Gregor. Yep, Mr. McDavid helping the Kings to win this weekend yesterday. We're going to talk about that for sure. Mr. John Gregor, welcome back. Like I said, Nature said it's only -2 in Montreal. What I heard, they got swamped by snow yesterday. A little bit snowstorm, about 15, maybe 6 inches fall in Montreal. So I'm sure there's going to be a snow be gone very soon about that. I don't get too excited, Mr. 951 said. Of course, it's a long season. But it's great to be a fan with too much excited about that one of that. You get more excited when you probably tell you make money tonight. Chin chin. Yes, from here, 1917, December 6th. Here we go. Coach, he knows a lot of stuff. He knows about geography. Not really. But that's glad to see. Here's Yamo. What about the dog walk man? The man walk a dog at 10:22 p.m. every night. The dog are ready to go out. Why not to welcome back the teacher, the lawyer, the man of the man, Mr. Michael Robinson in the house. Mr. Richard Mullins says 8 Celsius and the Lil Perrault snow and rain. That's not a good fun to drive and have fun. Remember, Coach, I said for now I picked Toronto in the last bowl game. John Gaya said it's raining in Massachusetts this morning in Boston. And why not to say, come on down, Mr. Johnny Golden. Well, that's going to meet in the next 24 hours. How we'll get that conversation goes. I'm not sure about that. If they will meet during that time. Usually it's more private. And I don't know if Dash followed the team, honestly. But who really knows about this? I would be shocked. But, that stuff like that usually are a little bit more private and not to expose or disturb the conversation with around the team every time that. So I don't know Dash is with the Tampa Bay. If it's the case, he's going to be asked a lot of people, a lot of questions outside, about that one. There'll be something. I don't think me Dash follow the team all the time. Dash also supervised the club farm in American Hockey League. And but it will be interesting to see what could happen. We're going to hear more about this. I will get excited if they will get past the first round. Until then, nothing special. 951. Hey, Johnny. Well, we know they are going to talk for sure. Yes, coach, I'm dealing with a lot of musical issues. You should again watch them. All the lights, my day. Awesome. Top legend. What's happening, Michael Robinson? And here we go, Johnny Golden in the house today. And here we go. We are right now at 12:11. That's pretty much my presentation. I welcome everybody. The first 15 minutes is to welcome everybody. We wish an amazing, great week. One of the best friends we have here. We know this one. But the monkey. But the monkey is right now with school and Hawaii right now playing music somewhere. And I don't know where we came in. I don't know exactly where. But right now he's enjoying the Hawaii place over there. So we wish him an amazing, great weeks. And we miss him. Hopefully he's going to be back at some point. Because right now it's about 6:12 over there the morning. So 6 hours prior us. So I'm sure he's just still sleepy over there. Here we go. Let's hope Vigneault does not land in Montreal. Oilers was very bad yesterday. You almost said Moro, Mr. Vigneault in the house. And Philly, OMG, all bad they are. John Gregor, welcome. And Mr. Vigneault, happy Independence Day in Finland. That's what the picture is behind me. So for celebrate the Finland country. That much, I swear me to go to Buffalo game. I have my body down there. Look for it together. We don't leave for Buffalo. The coach between period. Let me get back on that. And we lost. We don't lost, but we didn't see recently the owners of the Buffalo Sabres around here recently. Philly is bad. Hey, Gregor, more. Philly that girlfriends are playing better football. John Grella, it may be too late about that one over there. The fact the Canucks hire a new coach, then me they are talking. So this is someone about a gym here in our tap. Johnny Golden. Everybody is on the map to be ready. And let's dive in right here. And I'm going to delete the lights because it's bother everybody and myself too. Where are the lights? Here we go. Holidays, maybe another time. You can see I add some update at the bottom. You can follow. And I can put myself a bit higher. Why not? Here we go, coach. You're doing well. You're looking great, coach. But let's start with a picture like this. Anybody know who is this goaltender? And if you know who is this goaltender, you have to tell me something he did in NHL, something unique happening to him in NHL. So I'm going to give you a couple of more minutes to think about this one. I'm going to read your comments about that. For sure, Richard, and my bet is on Dale Therrien in Vancouver, but what do I know? Dale Therrien is retired, Michael. Dale Therrien is over 70 years old, and he decided to be completely out of the NHL, stay in the Florida area. About that one over there. They have too many ex-players around the team, guys. The Stan Smile, the the Sidon brother. And they are all of those kind of people are around the team. I think they could have some impact around the team. Now, right away, Marc Bergevin was on the map to have an interview over there, what some people said. And then Montreal already traded Brendan Gallagher to Montreal, to Vancouver, because Marc Bergevin is going there. So that's how Montreal works, unfortunately, as on the media. They just crazy over there. But that's another subject about that one over there. Yamu said it's Ward. Michael Robinson says some good, biggest obstacle that damn border. John in our tap, how are you? That sick is very darling looking. Yes, right about that. You can see about that. What is really unique, guys, is like that goaltender. It was sponsored by its fan team. First of all, buyer for the Reebok stick. Coho on the blocker. or maybe his glove was like this one. Then his pad the company Vaunt. All those companies from don't exist anymore, and but that give you an idea what the goaltender is. At the end of the day, this goaltender guy is Mike Murphy for the Carolina Hurricanes. What happening to him? He got his first loss during his career with the Carolina Hurricane, and also during the time he got a loss, he did not allow any goal during the time. So when he allowed his first goal in NHL, he already lost one game in NHL. That's really fact unique. So this is Mike Murphy. I just want to mention the story about Mike Murphy behind about that picture over there. Seven, I'm a vice president coach. You are right to all to be GM. Yes, of course. Yes, I agree with you about that one over there. Here we go. First of all, before we go on the Vancouver, let's start with the Philadelphia Flyers this morning around 10 o'clock. I was going to make another video today, but first of all, at 2 o'clock in the morning, when I heard Benning was fired too, I make a quick Vancouver Canucks video at 2 a.m. This morning. It's a 3-4 minute, that's it. Then I was going to do another video today, who is next? And I was going to make Alain Vigneault as my next coach to be out, or DJ Smith and Ottawa. Two teams, I believe, they are the next two teams, could maybe fire their coach. And then the video was already not done yet. And then we heard the big news about the Flyers. They fired Alain Vigneault and also Michel Therrien of the other staff as a head coach, assistant coach. And they hire, or they keep for interim right now, Mike Yeo. Yo is a long time assistant coach, head coach in NHL before. He's going to be in charge about the team at that moment. I'm sure they are searching, or maybe give the Mike Yo the rest of the year as an interim head coach at that moment. It will be interesting to see what Cliff Fletcher is going to do. But again, that's another big news and the Philly, where they are 0-6-2 the last 8 games. Since the beginning of the season, they struggle. Vigneault have a coach behind the bench for 3 years with the Flyers. Have a coach 147 a game with 74 wins, 54 loss, 19 OTL, and for a winning percentage of 5-6-8. He only bring his team one time in the playoff. Remember the year where they went to the bubble in Toronto, where they beat the Montreal Canadiens in 6 games, if I can recall it, maybe 5. Carter Hart was unbelievable, and that's pretty much what he did with it. He had 19 years career in NHL as a coach. We know he's been with the Rangers, Vancouver, the most of the time, in the Montreal Canadiens. That's the history of the resume of Alain Vigneault. So already Montreal, what he did, now he's a new coach of Montreal. That's how Montreal is so amazing. It's just, for me, it's crazy. Something happened, now Montreal have to be a French Canadian right away. And it's now to be a second time after Claude Julien and Michel Therrien. Why not to bring Alain Vigneault and Michel Therrien for the 3rd time? And that's sad, but it is what it is. About it, Martin Jean visit Justin Annunen, confirmed Flyers to Colorado Yamo tonight. Will be interesting to see that. If they listen to you, Flyers will pick you up. Marcar Kadri Pack in the lineup. Yes, more about that about them. I'm not a Vigneault or Therrien fan. 2-2 at Drop Hockey, both of them. About the Alain Vigneault. So was not the only one, because we did it. We did another video. We announced this a couple of weeks ago. Maybe in Vancouver will be the first one. The 2 people will be fired. It was just a question of time, guys. At the end of the day, we know that will happen. We did not know when, which day. And they buy time by winning against the Montreal Canadiens and the Ottawa Senators last weekend, a couple of days ago. And prior that, they was almost already out. And then finally, the loss against the Pittsburgh Penguins, 4-1, and the jersey on the ice and everything like that. It was just like too much. And the people from the top of the rink screaming, banning fire, everything like that did not help. And you can see on the body language of Green, he knew it was coming. And during the press conference, you listening to him, and when someone asked a question, he answered back, said, "That's who we are," and that's give you an idea. It was not only him, and that's what the team is all together. So they need someone to bring back the motivation, the energy, and find a way to make Elias Pettersson better, or Elias Pettersson have to be out of his slump. They have a couple of problems. The worst PK in NHL is Vancouver, about 60%. The power play is one of the worst in NHL with the Montreal Canadiens at the bottom. It's a team at many categories or facets of the game. They struggle. On a special team example, 5 versus 5, they don't do well also. And they have average performance for some players from Bowser, from Demko, and Pettersson. And that's what they need, those they still up a little bit more and to come back who they was before in the past. And that team have, on the paper, have a lot of potential over there. It's not a team like it's bad. On the flip side, Jim Benning. Benning make a lot of decisions, like controversies during his career with Vancouver after 8 years. You talk about Louis Eriksson contract. You talk about the trade for Brendan Sutter. You talk about the trade, the Pullman, the last one, the Pullman signature. That's another one over there. And the trade with Arizona Coyotes happening a couple of months ago. That's another big one. So you can see he accumulate a lot of mistakes with time, and that's maybe the end for him. It was the time for me to move on. Now the Canucks Vancouver, they hire a new head coach, Bruce Boudreau, as a coach over there for them. And it will be interesting what he's going to do. Funny fact about this, he signed for 2 years only. So it will be interesting. He's going to finish this year. They have one more year. Usually when you have that, guys, you have to sign a contract during the summer. So it depends the performance of Bruce Boudreau. How is he going to get another a new contract during the summer or not? It will be interesting to follow about that. But if a guy can turn around that, as maybe Boudreau at that moment, they need someone, a coach, like an old school coach with, pushing them and working as a team together. And Boudreau did it in the past with other teams, Anaheim or Washington. He been in Minnesota. He would been a really great career as a coach also. So that's the thing we have to follow up for the next couple of days and see. And it's not going to be easy for the Flyers also. I mentioned to play tonight against Colorado. I mentioned about that one over there. Some people talking at the I was for Mr. Andy Koivula in the house. My bet is Bergevin goes to Anaheim or Chicago, eventually on some capacity, probably GM. Michael, you're possible right for Anaheim. I would say no to Chicago because the story about the players in 2010, and he was around that team. I think it would be just not great to have Bergevin back over there. And I think for him, it would be better he move out of Chicago. On the flip side, his family live in Chicago. His kid grow in Chicago, go school over there. It could be something, but I don't see him in Chicago, obviously. Hello, Coach. Thank you, Andy. Not good game others yesterday. Maybe it was a season. Friend in the house. Boudreau, yep, got a rough day in Minnesota. I miss Yamo, but what's going on to do? Others need a goalie. Steve G from Denver, Colorado in the house. When you have to tag someone, Yamo, if you want to talk to directly someone, right? The name is mentioned. Tag on the A commercial. I don't know the A, like the over the number 2, right? And when you click on that one, we capitals. You click on the A, Coach Frenchy, but the A, and then you get also the name appear, and then you click on the name. That's how it works. Okay, now I see it, I guess. Yeah, there are a few of us, Steve. And finally, guys, don't forget to click on the like. That'd be awesome to do that. And if you think that'd be great, thanks for joining us this morning. You're welcome, Yamo. How about that? By the way, Yamo's doing well on the fantasy hockey. he still lead the pack with 7-1 so far in NHL and the Hockey Nation Live Show. I just want to share it to you some, statement from the Vancouver Canucks, because honestly, they not only fired both, they fired also Nolan Baumgartner, part of this one. So I want to sincerely thank Jim, John, Travis, and Nolan for their passion and dedication to the organization and our community. We are grateful for everything they have done for the Canucks during their tenure, and we wish them nothing but success in the future. That was coming from the Francisco Aquilini, the chairman governor NHL Vancouver Canucks. I just want to mention about that news. It was a statement made by the owners about Vancouver Canucks. It will be interesting at what capacity the Sidon brother can be involved with the next situation over there. It would be interesting if Stan Smith could become the GM over there. So how going to turn around there would be interesting. The second thing also, remember that the Vancouver have an history of over 50 years. 50 years in NHL. It's happened only one time during those 50 years. They fire the GM and the coach at the same day. It's never happened before in the history of hockey and NHL. Everything that. So I don't know what's going on right now, but my Twitter account gets crazy. So that's what's happening about the Vancouver Canucks. Let's move on for the next one, where now is the time for the Flyers. The Philadelphia Flyers have relieved head coach Alain Vigneault and assistant coach Michel Therrien of the duties, effective immediately, according to President of Hockey Operations General Manager Chuck Fletcher. Can Fletcher can become also the next one? Will be interesting. Mike Yeo will serve as the Flyers interim coach at the club tonight at the visit the Colorado Avalanche at the Wells Fargo Center. So that's what happened. Here we go. We just talked about him. We just mentioned Bottom Monkey. Can you believe Bottom Monkey will be here or not? Because you're about 7 o'clock, my friend. 27 over there, I believe. Or 6:27. Yes, very early over there, Mr. Bottom Monkey. Welcome aboard. Enjoy your time over there. And take advantage of your time at that beautiful location to enjoy. At the same time, I know you're there with school, but we thank you to join part of the show this morning, 7:28. Thank you to let us know that. Dean Gateman's in the house. I believe, Dean, is the first time you are here, so welcome aboard. Thanks for joining us this morning. And don't forget, everybody, to click on the likes and also to subscribe to the Hockey Nation Live Show. And you're absolutely right. Should have happening 2 weeks ago. Like I mentioned this 2 weeks ago. I said that 2 weeks ago, the Vancouver should go with, fire the coach. I thought, I'll be honest with you, Dean, they will do it before Montreal Canadiens. I thought in my eyes, on my head, they will do it before the Montreal Canadiens. Well, I will be surprised. But, Dean, you're absolutely right about that situation. Andy said, a goalie and a big, strong man defenseman is what I'm asking as center for the Oilers. Yes. I agree with you about that one over there. They struggled. Dave Tipper was not very happy after the game. He said, look, that's the first time we lost 2 games straight. And I'll be honest with you, I knew this was coming. We don't play the high-level hockey we should play. And obviously, that's the problem with that part over there. I thought Canucks would be the descendant involved in the management of the team. I wouldn't be surprised they are already right now as a special advisor in our tap. So I don't know, both of them want to to be increasing their job or duties for the team, but it's something we have to follow up with them for sure. Another also lost again. That's what 11 now. They are the last 11. Time for them. 11 guys. Here we go. Canucks do we want the Senate to be a part of management as well as 10 men, which will work all together to be interim GM. Exactly. I think, Dean, I agree with you about that one over there. I think it would be great to see the brothers sit in. And, they are, I'm sure you are fans of the Canucks. And, it's part of the tradition, the history of the franchise. The Canucks, the Sedon, always, and Stan Smith, what a career he has with the Canucks. So I think that's the right thing to do. How long until the Islanders do something? They don't go nowhere. Bonnie Monkey, Barry Trotz, and Lou Mariello don't go nowhere. It's maybe some trait, something like that, would be more effective for the team on my point about that one over there. Blackhawks for St. Slash should be returning Tuesday or Friday. Yeah, they are going right now skating. Blackhawks was on the power play number 1 this morning, so I expect Blackhawks to be back in the lineup and the team tomorrow night. No chance will happen in the Islanders. Joe Levy could be getting his Panther debut on Tuesday. He was back in Charlotte, Joe Levy. So I don't know if he's going to be back in Florida, but I think he was there. They also put on the waiver today the defenseman Kevin Connington, I believe, for the Panthers. Any chance Benjamin goes to Vancouver? There was mentioned this morning, Johnny, his name was, put on the map over there. Like Dean said, I'm not sure they will go from outside of the organization like Marc Bergevin. Can Marc Bergevin become a special assistant GM or supervisor? I don't know if Bergevin wants to do that. But I still believe the Canucks would be a little bit more targeting someone for the organization, like the Sedin or something like that. Or they may be, like Montreal, add 2 people together. That could be something could happen about that one over there. But I feel like they will go from the intern, like Dean mentioned earlier about that. It's not a surprise Oilers lost the King last night, especially since Quick was in goal. I'll be honest with you, it's a surprise. Honestly, I did not know that the Kings can win in Edmonton, first of all. The second thing, the Kings struggle for the last, 7-8 game. They don't play at the, high. Sandy got through Doughty back in the lineup. They're helping them. But again, for me, I thought at home the Edmonton would be better and beat the Los Angeles Kings. So for me, it's a surprise. But I can understand you follow your team more. And for you, that's just normal about that one over there. Mr. Harold Bourgeois in the house. I believe Harold came from the West Canadian. Welcome aboard. Bonnie Monkey said for the Sting about that. Oilers can last, can last to the Arizona on any night. And Nico Ivola said that about his team. Oilers looked disinterested last night. It's happened, guys. In our kids during the season, 82 game, you can count about, I would say, 5 to 8 game on the schedule where the team will be flat, where the team have nothing works. The puck does not roll. The team does not want to play well. It's happening about that. For what reason? I don't know. Everybody try to prepare their team properly and the right way and for each game, and it can go that way, right? No lack of preparation or no lack of, of the dedication with passion. It's happened. That's hockey, been that part. Maybe 8 is maybe too much, but at least you have 3, 4, 5, 6 games during the year. It will happen for any team in NHL. On my book, that's what normally happened. Here we go, the man of the man, my Bruce Boudreau, my buddy Bruce. Is going to be fire up the Canucks, and you're going to see a couple screaming with a big F around the board in the locker room, outside the locker room, or the morning, everything like that. They're going to let him work. Hopefully, OEL is going to sharp his skate because Boudreau is going to let him skating a lot. But it will be interesting. His experience, his wisdom as a coach going to bring, I believe, for the Canucks. Now, I believe it's too late to bring back them in the playoff, but it can change at least a couple of players to have a better year, and also the Canucks have a better finish straight, for the rest of the year. The men, I believe, Presbyterian can do that with the Vancouver Canucks. McDavid and Russell have slowed down over the last 3-4 games. That's the biggest problem. Yes, that's the team that both of them carry on the team, honestly. And I'm absolutely right about that in our tap. About the productivity on the ice at the last couple of days. Talking about the Montreal Canadiens, this is started to 40. Another one. Yep, another one. What are you talking about, Coach? What do you think? Of course, he's hurt. Of course, he's going to be on the injury list. And of course, he's going to be missing a couple of games, I believe. He was not at the rink today skating. Upper body. And it will be interesting what can happen to him. Is it out for this week? We don't know. We see last season he missed a couple of games for the Montreal Canadiens. But it's another one right now on the injury. And we'll see what happened about that. We are also Montreal Canadiens announced today Jeff Petrie and Joel Armia have a day off. What's called a treatment for them. They are not skating with the team. Can Petrie come back right away? I'm not sure. But it'll be something. They call up from Laval for the second time in 3 days. Laurent Dauphin back with the team. So they're going to be back the next, couple. We'll see if Dauphin be part of the team lineup for the next game. They play tomorrow against Tampa Bay. But in fact, we try to mix. We try to figure out tomorrow night, me and me and Eagle Frank Sport to join us together to do a streaming with the Tampa Bay. So it'll be interesting. I think it'll be fun to bring him, Eagle, to helping him to grow his channel and helping about that one over there. About this. It's been raining all the whole time, and bottom of key here is sunshine right now. 77, I believe, in Fahrenheit. We're missing Gators. I don't know what's going on with Gators. We did not see Frank Zalazar, and I don't know what's Kimberly anymore. So we're missing a couple of people, but we are glad and grateful having each one of you this morning with us. Don't forget, guys, to click on the likes. That'd be awesome. Something does not sound right with McDavid lately. And I agree with you. Yamo said, sure, Vasilevsky for Tampa because Iliad is yesterday. About that one over there. Let's move on for the next one I want to show to you. Oops. All the results from yesterday, guys. You have about a couple of games, 6 games, honestly, on the NHL. But before that, we talk about each one of the game. I want to mention Blake Wheeler for the Winnipeg Jets got play his 1,000 game in NHL. Nice presentation before the game. Well done, Mr. Blake Wheeler. Well, we remember the trade with the Boston Bruins. Imagine Boston Bruins with Blake Wheeler. That's another story. But imagine, he have an amazing, great career with the Winnipeg Jets. So well done, Mr. Blake Wheeler. I know Eagle is not here. Maybe I have a fans for the Tampa Bay Lightning, but another milestone for the Tampa Bay Lightning. 1,000 franchise win during the Sunday out in NHL. Of course, Steven Stamkos have an amazing, great season with them. That captain, whatever, he's 32 years old, I believe now. He's doing great about that. And guys, they're winning. They are 4 straight W right now without Kucherov and Brendan Point. Unbelievable. And now the veteran Corey Perry scored 2 goals yesterday. Amazing to see that about him. Minnesota Wild Stanley Cup champion. They have a shot. See, they continue to play like they have. Steve G. I agree with you about that. And now not a chance. The ancient agent would be all over that. Coach, do you think most of these app injuries are legit or they are crazy and so they finish as little as possible? They are all legit at some point in our tap. The NHL is not going to be around those injuries in NHL every day. But if you have something go on the long-term injury, they have to report, have the doctor bring those report document to the NHL if you turn that. But now, can a players hurt or feel done good and you see, you know what, I'm not going to play tomorrow or next day because that's not right this time. Yeah, we stink, we stuck, we'll not tell anybody. But it was, I think I would like to have 2-3 more days. I'm sure it's happened in NHL like anything else. But otherwise, we made us. And CG, we have to get by the first round. Minnesota have the syndrome of the Toronto Maple Leafs at the end of the day. Both of them have to go through the first round. I think that will be important about that. The good news, NHL answered this by having the lottery. Yes, but again, they will also checking about the trade, everything like that. They're never going to be mentioned. But in the past, something we're going to lose by trading, everything like that, to drop at the bottom and try to finish at the end. We're going to talk about each game, but I want to talk also about an injury here. Rasmus Sandin, I didn't have no confirmation. Maybe Yamo, someone else of you knows the gravity of that injury. But after contact with Pionk, knee to knee or something like that, maybe it's going to be long term, or I don't know exactly his injury, but it was not looking good. He could not put any weight on the right legs. So it would be interesting what he's going to do about that, and what's the NHL going to act after that, because we know happening. It was getting worse and worse during the game between both teams. A lot, Dubois with Matthews, and then Simon was trying to fight Logan Stanley, and then you got other things trying to get Pionk. Then you have Jason Spezza, knee on the head of Noel Pionk on the ice, and it was just generate on the wrong way every time that. So it would be interesting to follow that injury about this. The book still have the Avalanche are the favorite to win the cup. We cannot even beat Ottawa. I don't know why Steve they constantly put this. I agree with you. It's not bothering me at the end of the day, but I'm shocked to see that, to go that way. It's like a bubble in our year. I have to get COVID testing every 2 days. Wow, that's crazy. I agree with you, Steve, about this. And I don't know how they can thinking right now that Colorado have everything to find to win the Stanley Cup. And be friendly with everybody, guys. If someone tell me who's going to win the Stanley Cup, I don't know yet. It's too. People have right now. The Minnesota may be a little bit advantage because they have no slum right now. But everybody got a slum. Everybody, they now tell me they are dominate everybody in the league. So really interesting what could happen about this. And Otap said it's out indefinitely. Thank you so much for the report. Mr. Brett Marchand in the house. Hopefully, Mr. Brad, you're doing well in Colorado. They can wait the ping pong bell, watch the Ranger, but Lafreniere is such a joke. 951, no info for Senden. Yamo said, crazy game. I'm glad I watched the game. And he was on the Chesterkin coach. Yes, 1 week. And Dico Ivula. Chesterkin is out for 1 week, 7 days, max to 10 days. That's the situation about Chesterkin. Let's move on to the next one. Here we go. Mr. McDavid, this is after he hit a camp. We don't see camp right now on the floor, on the ice. McDavid with frustration, I don't know. They have something happening before that hit and during the game between both of them. But McDavid, he saw the number, a hit Cam, and then Cam fall and concussion. He got a 5 minute, I believe, and the game misconduct, and then the score. When you get a 5 minute plus make a misconduct, usually you get 1 game suspension. Can the league do this? I don't know, but that's what's happening about that. You have to say one team is a Tampa, good goalie, and a D-line. Yamo said, Hegel, Frank Sport, and the house. Exactly, not talking about the prediction about this. It's just, thinking about this way. Welcome again, Ethan Frank Sport, number 1 fans of the Tampa Bay Lightning. So we may see what's happening with McDavid situation. Talking about McDavid problem, here we go. It's happening about like 30 minutes ago. Toronto Jason Spezza had been offering an in-person ring via Zoom for Ning when he paid at the time DBD. That's not a good news. Usually he gets suspended about that. Winnipeg Jet Neil Pionk will have also the same situation about the fact he did for Rasmus Sandin. And then the Toronto Wayne Simons have been fined at $22.50 maximum under the CBA for cross-checking Winnipeg Jensen Harkins. That's what happening about that. About this. A good goalie is everything in the playoff. 100%. He said 951. I want to share with you also those information. Goals for, guys, in the beginning of the season. Colorado is number 1 with 4. Florida Panthers 3.83. And the surprise team, the Minnesota Wild, can score a lot of goals. They are at 3.71. Following by the Edmonton Oilers and the Washington Capitals and the Vegas Golden Knights and the Anaheim Ducks. And then after that, the Tampa Bay. At the bottom, the Arizona Coyotes at 1.7. Then the Islanders now at 1.9. Chicago 2.13. And Montreal at 2.27. And the Canucks and the Flyers are just above the Montreal Canadiens with Ottawa. You can see that list, guys. Most of the team at the bottom, they have difficult time to win. On the flip side, surprised me, San Jose, Los Angeles, Nashville, and Detroit, they are maybe, 23, 23, 4, and they're still winning. And that's something surprised about that one over there. Lucas Carlson, UB, Renard, and Eggblad have been amazing. About that, yep, so far they play well. Since like Barkov is not there. And Carlson is at that very well with NHL at that moment. Bion would be fine, but Spencer could be a 1-game suspension. That's what I expect about that. Could be the top 5 draft team at the bottom. I agree with you, 951 at that moment. And then I want to finish on that section before we go back. That's the statement or how the race is going to a point percentage, everything like that. And age division, you can see Calgary and Edmonton very close together. Vegas and Anaheim together. Drop by a little bit San Jose and the Los Angeles Kings. At the bottom, there's Kraken and Vancouver. In the middle, Minnesota is by himself. And then you have a bunch, the 5 teams together. The Dallas, the Nashville, the St. Louis, the Colorado, and the Winnipeg Jet. That gives you an idea. Those teams are really compete. And then finally, you have Chicago at 20, and then you don't see the Arizona on the bottom. On the flip side, on the Atlantic, the Panthers, Tampa Bay, Toronto, all 3 together. And what we said before, the Detroit and the Boston fighting for the 4th and 5th. And then at the bottom, the Buffalo and Montreal. And finally, on the Metropolitan, pretty amazing. The Washington, New York Rangers, and the Carolina by themselves. And then you have, the Columbus joining the Pittsburgh. And after that, you have the Devils and Philadelphia. And someone told me the New York Islanders will be at the bottom like that. I would say, you are wrong, but you are not, because that's the reality behind this part over there. Yamo 7 heures, du Foley et Joel Edmondson seront absents pour plusieurs semaines. I did not, at least this is new, Yamo, because this morning was only out for the skating, but I did not see anything else. I would not be surprised about Joel Edmondson. That's the reason they claim someone else, because claim a Clegg, because they know something happening with the team. You was more upset about Tampa Bay give up the shootout, the Flyers giving up 6 goals. Eagle. Where's Montreal? They are the bottom. We hide them in our top. Who is the most dominant team when they are on? Right now, the Minnesota Wild, but the Monkey is dominate very well. And overall, in NHL at that moment, for what I can see recently about that, the problem with the Florida Panthers, whatever who they are right now, they don't show me consistency play on the road. And also, they don't play. Everything is hard when they play. So, and their record since 1 month, they are not play for 600. They barely make the 500 over a little bit more. So, for me, the Minnesota Wild is for me the best team, or one of the best teams with Tampa Bay at that moment. Eagles, the Islanders really won on the free fall this year. I thought they were the championship government. I need to admit defeat at this point with the Islanders. Yeah, the problem with the Islanders is just about the injuries, COVID-19 relate together. That's the problem happening about that one over there. And also the goaltending is another problem. Varlamov never recovery from last year. Sorokin is expectation. I thought it was a little bit better, but they are not there at that moment. It was 9 minutes ago. Just need this in French. I'll tell you not to start Elliott. And also blew that game for the Flame last night. it was like I don't know Anderson, but he have a breakaway, an amazing, great save by Leonard about that one. London, a big bright for sure as a Boston, but back out between him. But the monkey, it's okay because when you have a duo like Lundell and Barkov, you can win a lot of games like like Crosby and Malkin. You can go with Draisaitl and McDavid. That's what you like to get, honestly. I'm going into hockey. Bergeron is high on the list of cancel for GM. He's a good fit. Coach, yes. Yes, Johnny. It would be a great fit over there. I think the fan will be a little bit negative, or because they would like to get a sit-in or someone around this. Now, they can maybe hire Bergeron and hire like maybe a sit-in or Stan Smith. But I feel Mike Bergeron was already after the rumor, not a rumor, but he was already fired. They already mentioned his name as a new GM in Vancouver. So it'll be interesting about that one of them. Consistency has gone out the window for most of the team in the past. I agree with you about this. During those, I think the Minnesota is only the one there at the top make it. Good to see you again. Love your content, Dave. Everett, once rumor is good. Canucks are considering hiring Bergeron GM. That was a great one, Dave. Thanks for joining us. I really appreciate to hear this from you. I agree with you about that. That's a rumor make out again a couple of hours ago, and it will continue for the next couple of days to see if Mike Bergeron. Like I said earlier, I don't know if they go with Bergeron or they go with and from the inside. So it'll be interesting to follow for sure. Good afternoon, everyone. Philippe is the bottom in Vancouver. Yes, sir. Caleb South, directly from North Carolina. And again, Eagle, you mentioned about the Winnipeg Jet problem, right? It's been everybody, most of them have a slump. If you're looking their schedule, the last, their game log, you can check their slump at some point during the year so far. Almost everybody have that kind of the slump. And now it's not to go deeper, right? And now the Jet look like they are back where they are. 14 goals this weekend. And they're looking back dangerous about this. I think they missed a couple of puzzles, but they're looking great, to be honest with you, the Islanders. How are you doing? I'm doing absolutely great. Mr. Eagle said this for Caleb. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. All the Panthers Center are on the PK and defensive. I agree with you, but I'm okay. The cloud of COVID-19 arms so many teams, making the other league before that is what, man. That's something I suffer about the COVID-19. But unfortunately, Richard, it could become something have to fight every year in NHL like any other sport and on our own life. I think COVID never going to be gone, and COVID be a part of what part of the life for at least for many years, and it could affect team and the result, the outcome in any sport or in our life for sure. Very quickly about this, Fly Fire, the coach who will be his replacement. Now they go and see with Mike Yeo, the interim head coach. I would not be surprised Mike Yeo stay until the end of the season at that moment. But you're going to see Travis Green back in NHL at some point, and Therrien and Vigneault also somewhere. Every time that already the people talk in Montreal, the connection between Jeff Gordon and Alain Vigneault with the New York Rangers. We know the story. They work together. But I don't see Vigneault back in Montreal. I was surprised on Alain get it fired. Caleb, 0-6-2. The last 8 games, they struggle. They are the bottom metropolitan. If you look what happening for the last, 15 games, this thing don't go nowhere. And there was mentioned, what it surprised me, guys, $5 million per year this season, and you still have 2 more years after that. That's a lot of money, honestly. And then I look like I'm not back on the screen. Should Philly Tortorella? Like I mentioned, guys, it's a lot of money to pay someone right now. I think they will maybe finish the season with Mike Yeo and figure out after that. I will not be surprised. The reviewing of the job of Cliff Fisher will be really scrutinized by the owners. Would be interesting to see what's happening with him. I agree with that. Some percent people must wake up to this fact. Yep, I think so too. Let's go back 6 games yesterday. The Tampa Bay Lightning beat the Flyers 7-1 yesterday. Again, that's what relate the fire of the Alain Vigneault, unfortunately. Tampa Bay win without Kucherov, Kutch, and Point. 4 straight W for the Tampa Bay. And this keep continues to very surprise me. They scored 7 goals yesterday. Corey Perry have 3 points, 2 goals, 1 assist yesterday. That's all about him. And Flyers cannot score. If you look at their game log, if you check their game, they cannot score per game. Where at the beginning of the season, guy, they was doing well, scoring 5-6 goals, 4 goals the first 5-6 games in the season. I'm glad I did not bet last night. I think I would have gone 0-6. AS main dude in the house. So confirmed by Inotap and Toffoli and Edmonton are gone for the few weeks, as by Renault, Lavoie, and Dede. That just continues what's going on with the Montreal Canadiens. And it's unfortunately, but that's not a surprise to see that or to hear that at that moment. Team need bigger roster for this COVID, this influencer. Yamo, I would not be surprised about that. The 23 become a 25 at some point. See you later, Coach. See you later, Richard. Maybe not. And on top, you can see Toffoli got hurt behind the goal during the last game. You can see he was shaky. But now I don't know what is the injury. And Edmondson is it's something we don't know about Edmondson. Like I cannot specific to you. Is it the shoulder? Is it the legs? Is it the arm? I don't know about Edmondson. It's just like he practiced and then he got back where he was before. So it looked like he did a little bit longer recovery about that one over there. It's just just a difficult year for injuries for the Montreal Canadiens. And that's really, like you said before, like we mentioned, I don't see Carey Price come back around for the next couple of weeks. It'll be a little bit longer. Let's go fire up for the next other game. The Columbus Blue Jackets just surprised the San Jose Sharks. They scored 3 goals straight at some point to win that W. Cole Selinger scored a goal for Columbus. It was a lot of goals on that game. The goaltender was not great, honestly, for both teams. And Hill cannot deliver any great performance for the last in the beginning of the year. After he got a shutout against Montreal Canadiens, Hill is going, honestly, downhill. That's pretty much the fact. And on the flip side, Muskegon struggled for the last couple of games. The goaltender situation Columbus put me a little bit nervous if they want to win more game. Both of goaltenders struggled for the last 5-6 games in Columbus. I watched a video yesterday that said Toffoli was the most underpaid abs. $4 million, you know, like with 28 goals last season, yes. This year, you know, he struggled at some point, but he's like the team. So we be interesting about the next one about that. Like you said, guys, mentioned earlier, the Islanders continue to struggle. Lost the 11 last game. They lost in shootout 3-2 against the Chicago Blackhawks. Great performance overall for Fleury. And Thompson is tied the game a couple of seconds before the end of the game to bring this in shootout. It was the only game in shootout yesterday compared, I believe, 5 Saturday night, if I can recall it properly, maybe 4 or 5. Toronto-Winnipeg was the game we watched after the power play show we did yesterday. Crazy game. Winnipeg took a quick score, 3-0, I believe. Toronto came back. But, after a power play, Winnipeg finally scored, and then they pushed away Toronto. Never have come back after the game. But again, this was a physical, the third period. A lot of bad penalties or pushing by the Toronto Maple Leafs. Again, the Winnipeg Jet was upset about the Remus Sandin injury. And then you have Wayne Simons running after everybody. And then after that, you got the knee of Jason Spencer on Young from Pionk. And then after that, you have also Dubois and Matthews during the game. So I can't wait to see the next game between Toronto and Winnipeg. I hope it will be a night where the Montreal does not play for we can do the game, honestly, about that. Kelly, welcome aboard. Talking about the Toronto. Welcome. You are awesome. Miss Kelly and Miss Darlene. I saw on Instagram Coach Vigneault Fire. Super Drew 932. Welcome aboard. You're absolutely right about that. The next game after that, the surprise of the night for me was Edmonton against Los Angeles Kings. The Kings beat the Edmonton Oilers 5-1. Philippe Danault played 23 minutes, guys, the most player on TOI for the Kings yesterday. He showed the reason why he signed a contract with the Kings and the reason he can shut down those kind of players like McDavid and Otresalo. Overall, great performance. The Kings against the Oilers. Of course, the news over there we mentioned earlier is a McDavid hit in the back of camp, and see what the league's going to do with. He got a 5-minute misconduct, and then after that, you can see the Kings took advantage of the penalties of the Oilers and the indiscipline of the Oilers to win and get out of this with a victory of 5-1. The last game was a match of the night, guys. If you watch the Vegas, I'm usually I have to go to bed earlier, but I cannot. The game are too good. The evening sometime, and this was a playoff game. The Calgary versus Vegas Golden Knight. The goaltender, I imagine, and I'll be honest with you, the game could be 6-2 Vegas. Max Strom, guys, it was unbelievable between the pipes for the Calgary Flame. They a little bit, I guess, dominate the game on my eyes, but Calgary hanging there, but not good enough to win that game. It was 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, and then 3-1 Vegas, and then the Calgary scored the last 2-3 minutes with their empty net goaltender. But not good enough time to beat the Vegas yesterday. Great performance of Vegas, yes, to win again the Calgary Flame, and Patrick scored for the Vegas. So overall, we have Vegas did very well against the Calgary Flames. Let's move on with all the people want to say about something. Toffoli is leading to the team scoring. Yes, is what they are not tied up with Zuski with 15 point, Johnny. And he has 5 goals, 10 assists, I believe. Something like that. Franco Iacono in the house. Hi, coach. In all chatters, suspend getting and person meeting and need to add instead. Might be suspended 5 games or more. I don't expect this, Franco. On my book, it would be maybe 1 or 2 game max. I don't see more at that one over there. It could be also the same thing for Pionk at 3 games for Pionk. Would be interesting about this. Today is anniversary of the infamous Patrick trait. At the end of the day, I was going to say that 25 years, I believe now. It's not 25 years, 27 years maybe. Maybe not. That's the anniversary where today they trade Patrick Roy, and that changed for the rest, the history of the Montreal Canadiens after that trade. Montreal never been the same kind of team they was before with Patrick Roy. Coach, if I should park very hard on your background pick, it might be hit Stephen Swift. It's funny, Yamo, because on that picture behind me, they have like a K, you have something, you can walk, and you can show the park all the way over there. So, honestly, I don't know which city I am in Finland. I just got a picture, but I put this for you guys from people in Finland. The start of the fall of the abs. Your start of the fall of the abs. Yes, exactly, not that. Coach, the next 2-3 months are going to be very interesting for Montreal. How do you see things playing out? What's going to happen in Johnny with this part, right? It's all about to be patient at that moment. The team's not going to be better. They're going to let it's missing Toffoli and Edmondson now. I believe they would keep possible Caulfield around that team over there. Biron will be there. So on the salary cap, it's a good news because now Toffoli out, Emerson out. That gave Biron back in December or maybe in January. The money is good enough to keep him around about that one over there. At the end of the day, that would give opportunity to other players to see and to look like Poland has a great opportunity for him to do that. Jake Evan, another one over there, and see what they look like, and to take all those kind of decisions after that at the end of during the trade deadline, where I believe Gallagher, Chariot, Perrault are really the three players could have a trade at some point at the trade deadline. Petry, Carey Price, too expensive for the contract at that moment. Carey Price situation could be reevaluated for the middle of the summer if he can be traded, something like that. During that time, the next couple of weeks, Jeff Gordon's looking for a GM. It will be happening in January. On that moment, you're going to see if they boycott or not the on-air picks. That will be the second thing you have to figure out about February. Thirdly, after that is the trade deadline. Like they mentioned, they're going to trade. And then they're going to finally finish. The bad news is going to be a long season for the viewers like you and me at watching Montreal night after night. They get beat, all right? And no insult too much. You're going to win one game there, one game there. But it is what it is. And then after that, you're going to have the big question. What do you do with Dominic Champ? What kind of player they can trade? Are they completely rebuild or they have fixed a couple of things over there? And which one they're going to select next season as the first round pick? I believe Montreal is going to have they're going to have 2 first round pick for Montreal 2022. Or they're going to have one there and they're going to push one in 2023, where I believe the 2023, if you finish at the bottom, the NHL, that changes your franchise. If Montreal can finish at the end of the Montreal, at the NHL standing for the next 2 years, at the bottom 3, 32, 31, 30, the Montreal Canadiens after that is going to be the best one of the best teams at the top 10 the next 3 years and for years after that. He's going to have 2 great franchise players around Romanov, Caulfield, Zuski, and other. You can see right now the Poland is getting better. You can see the improvement Romanov right now. It takes time. People expect right away like that. And it takes a little bit longer to become a great hockey player in NHL. Some take a little bit longer to anybody else. Look, Jake Evans. And at some point we're complaining about the development, but we cannot develop 20 players. That's the problem, right? And that's what's happening for the Montreal Canadiens for the next couple of months for me. And as the fans, be patient, right? As a fan, that's the way it is. And we pay off. This shows exactly who we are. We've always been an average team for the last 5 years, 5 to 7 years, an average team. That's been that way, the 18, 19, 20. It's hard to get out if you don't trade, if you don't go at the bottom. And Bergevin, he wanted to keep his players. He didn't want to trade Gallagher. He didn't want to trade Price or Weber or those kind of cornerstone player on your team to go to get better or to changing and to get out of that middle pack of the NHL year after year. Likanen could be another one for sure in our top. I almost stopped sharing for the abs. Maybe LCK possible. I don't know, Yamo. Do you see the story that it was Glenn Alley that suggested what to ask her for a trade? Yes, it's man. The situation in particular, guys, is just amplified with the 10 goal with Mario Tremblay behind the bench. That the relationship between Pierre Lacroix and Quebec Nordic and Colorado Avalanche changed everything because his agent Pierre Lacroix, before he worked for the Quebec Nordic and the Colorado Avalanche, he was the agent for Patrick Roy since he was 16 years old. So they always been the member family of Lacroix with the family Roy. They've all been together. So that's not surprise me, Patrick Roy asked for the trade. He wanted to get out of Montreal to go to Colorado because of Pierre Lacroix. That relationship was always been there forever in the past. Maybe the Canucks hire Bergevin as the PO operation. He is hired Scott maybe as GM. I don't think so in our tap. I think what's happening, they have to be careful. The Vancouver situation, guys, it's like Montreal. People in Montreal are pissed off because if you don't hire an ex-NHL player from Montreal or something like that, French, he hurt. It will be happening with Vancouver also. If you don't hire a Sinden higher level or a Stan Smell, before that was Trevor Lindell, they are really close in Vancouver, like Toronto and Montreal, with their players play for them before. For me to get back Mellenby, Bergevin over there and let go around other members like Sinden, everybody, it could be not see the right way or properly over there. I could be wrong. This is just my opinion, but I think see this. I like Romanoff. Yamo, me too. I like he exists. Average sense exists as well. Byfield is out enjoying. He would play for the ring for the bit. Yes, he's back in the American Hockey. Great point to bring back because you pay attention to that. I was mentioned this. Byfield back now on the ice. He's going to be on conditioning, loaning, and the American Hockey League. Can he be back with the Kings? I think so before the end of the season. Bergeron may be in Vancouver. Interesting, Johnny. That would be surprise me, but it could happen. How long Coach Manor is out? At the beginning, it was not expect too long. It's the Manor injury guy is a hit between him and Jake Marsden's on the practice. They thought it was a game decision, and now it takes a little bit longer. I would not be surprised, Kelly, at least something changed about 1 week's example. I did not see any report right now take longer. And I apologize sometimes, guys, I'm not update because I never watched my Twitter account from 11:30, 40. I knew the next time I have a press conference at the same time. Like right now, in the next hour, we have a press conference for Vancouver and the Flyers. I don't know what time is our press conference, so I'm going to follow up. But also, we're going to be back at 5 o'clock p.m. with Mr. Inartab. We're going to talk about the prediction of the game tonight. More game on the program. Frenchy is not live stream tonight, at least at 9 o'clock, because I have to ref tonight. But if I'm going to create some, maybe 1 or 2 other video, if I have a chance afternoon to do that. We need him back. Of course, Mono is a big piece of the puzzle for the Toronto. And finally, our goalie was put out last night. Obviously, for Justin Wall, it was maybe one of the, his worst performance and he was with the team. And again, Wolf guy is just a backup number 4 on my eyes in NHL. He's there because Peter Marinchek is not ready. He's right now with the Toronto Marlies or in the conditioning to come back very soon. And then Jake Campbell, it was his day off, was night game off. And remember, he got hit by Marcus Foligno the night before. We have a couple of games we did not talk about Saturday, but I want to mention to you about the 2W for the New York Rangers after they lost Chesterkin at the middle of the second period example. And then Georgiev came back in the game. I think it was the beginning of the third period. They won 1-0. And then after that, yesterday, they win again and 3-2. A great weekend for the New York Rangers. They consist winning on that division on the Metropolitan, and the team very surprised about this. On the flip side, Edmonton last 2 games. Winnipeg have 14 goals in 2 games. The Philadelphia continues to struggle. The Ottawa Senators win the last 2 games, and Detroit continues 6 straight W over there. So it's a really interesting season. A lot up and down. A lot of teams we don't expect still continues to winning. A team would expect they would be great, like Islanders, Flyers, and Montreal. They are not there now anymore at that moment. Coach, and choose the coach for might be Benoit Crew. I don't think so. Tap. I believe if Montreal changing, they have to go with someone experienced. I think they cannot bring a young coach. On the flip side, the name you mentioned to me is, I would not be surprised, it could be an assistant coach or part of the Montreal Canadiens organization at some point. In our tap about Benoit Gros, where he's doing very well in the OHL as a coach, everything like that before that, and and Team Canada. Mr. Stephen Member in the house. Welcome aboard. Stephen Member, Finland celebrate his Independence Day, 114 years. Did you see Travis Kelch, custom click and inspired by Gretzky skate? Yeah, I saw that very barely about this, but you're absolutely right about that, Mr. Ron Kings 20. And until then, my friend, this is the end of the show. 75 minutes, and we go through a lot of news today. We appreciate for your participation at the Hockey National Show. Of course, the morning is called the Morning Skate Show with the hockey coach, Guru Coach Frenchy. We're going to be back about in the next 4 hours at 5 o'clock p.m. We're going to bring you all the news. We talk about the conference happening with the Vancouver, what the update about the two situations for the Flyers and the Vancouver Canucks, and at the end, we're going to talk about the prediction of the game. I'm going to give you the result of all you guys of the game and what happening, and of course, we're going to talk about the NHL news today. So until then, my friend, we wish you an amazing, great afternoon, blessing day, and I look forward to see you tonight at 5 o'clock. But before we leave, we want to remind you one more thing.
You are awesome. You are amazing. You are the best. And remember, you have greatness inside of you.
Thank you so much again to support the Hockey National Show and to be participate to the show today. I look forward to see you at 5 o'clock p.m. with our best friend, the legend, in our tap. See you then. Be well and be healthy. See you, Vigneault. Johnny Golden, thank you. 951 in our tap. Eagle Frank Sport. Thank you so much. Michael Robinstein. Always a pleasure. Mr. Yamo. Mr. Stephen Member. Kelly. We love you. Johnny Gregor. On with Kings 20. S-Main Dude. We have Richard Gannon. Richard Mullen. We have Eric Julien. Welcome aboard. Thanks for joining us. Super Drew 932. Thank you so much. Andy Kuiwula. Have an amazing, great afternoon, sir. Thank you, Mr. Eagles. Look forward to see you a little bit later, my friend. Leon. Caleb Sauce. Welcome, my friend. Have a good afternoon. Have a good Monday.